Hi, guys. Welcome to Girls Gone Woke, where we inspire you to live a more conscious and joyful life. I'm Monica.
And I'm Claire. We're so grateful to have you here and bring you along on this journey with us.
Let's get started.
We could talk about this for so long because there are so many good points too that just keep coming up.
Fuckboys they can be so endearing.
So manipulating.
Yes. Yeah. So it's just like,
It's easy to get wrapped up in fuckboys because they know the exact thing to say, which makes it really hard to get out of, and they know how to manipulate your feelings.
yes.
So they can sense when you're kind of pulling away, so they'll pour themselves.
Yep. And then you're like, oh, wow, yay, they love me. And then they'll slowly start backing away. And then you're
Yeah.
like, fuck. And then you start to give up and you actually are going to move on. And then they start giving you all the attention again. So it's like this horrible cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which that could be a whole nother topic if you're in a manipulative relationship.
Yeah. Have to get the fuck out.
Yes.
Really, though.
Yeah, because then it's they want their cake, but they also want to eat it too.
Right. But that just goes back to the whole games thing. Like, that's a total game. And some people like the highs and the lows. And it's painful, but it's
Addictive.
fun for them and addictive. But that's not how, now being in a healthy relationship, that's not how it should be ever. It should be steady and easy, effortless.
Yeah. And Moni, too, just when you were with somebody who was very much like that, a narcissist, what did it take for you to see it yourself?
It honestly wasn't until I started working on myself, because I was just living so unconsciously, and I would not consider myself to be self-aware at that point. And so once I was like, wow, I need to learn about me, and I started learning about myself, and I started just becoming more aware of who was in my life and how did those people make me feel? Were those the types of people that I wanted to surround myself with? And I just realized there was a lot of negativity from that person. He made me feel bad way more than he would make me feel happy. He wasn't somebody that was uplifting. If anything, he was very, very draining. And so it was just me working on myself and becoming aware of that. How do I actually feel? How does this person actually make me feel? And are they adding value to my life? That gave me the ability to step back from the situation and just kind of observe it for what it is, versus being completely absorbed in it, because then it's so much harder to see for yourself. So yeah, I was just able to put some space between it, see it for what it was, and then just piss, because I was like, what the fuck have I been doing?
When we talk about waking the F up to ourselves, this is exactly what we're talking about.
Yes.
Actually tuning into reality and what's happening, and look at how healing that can be.
Right.
Moni, it completely changed your life.
It did. Yeah, because I can be so self-forgetting, and this is all things that I learned about me, which made total sense. So I'll know so much about other people and I'll care about all their needs before I would ever think about mine. Mm-hmm. But then knowing that about me, I'm like, okay, this is something I need to work on. What do I actually want?
Yeah.
And then I would write down what I valued and what I wanted another person. And then it's okay, does this match that? No. Do I want negative people in my life, or do I want positive people in my life that uplift me and I make me feel good about myself?
Mm-hmm. I just think it's so amazing. You're a testament to this. You literally wrote down what you were looking for in a partner, and then the universe, God, whatever you believe in, just plopped Brian right in front of you, in the craziest way possible. It was just fate.
Yeah, but it's the universe is probably wake the fuck up, Monica. I have this person for you if you would just realize what you're doing. Mm-hmm. And it took me so long. And then they're when I finally let it go, cut him out of my life, then they're finally, here you go. Here's an amazing man for you. Very slow learner with that. And I'm also very, very stubborn. So
yes, I am too.
That made it take way longer than it probably should have.
How we were raised, and just speaking for myself, my parents they tried to keep it under wraps for us girls. They were amazing parents. I mean, we all have our issues, but I had a good upbringing. The one thing that was just missing was seeing true love. If my parents even held hands or hugged me, and I'd be like, oh, like what
Same.
is happening? Like it was so uncomfortable for us. And I don't want to get too personal. They just did not have what I consider to be this really awesome marriage. And so growing up with that and seeing that, I also think played a role in just the types of guys that I would go for. So yeah, sometimes it's out of your control. I mean, we learn these things. We learn coping mechanisms. We soak everything in as children. So sometimes it's okay if it takes you a long time to find the right person because you have to unlearn a lot of what you saw growing up.
That's
And
so true.
if you don't unlearn it and like heal that resentment within yourself, you're going to find yourself kind of getting in these patterns.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what I did, like textbook
Yeah.
verbatim what I did.
Yeah. It's
I
actually
mean,
such a good point because, yeah, I didn't even realize that. But like, I also never saw a healthy relationship growing up. So it's like how I was raised that way. That's all I saw growing up. So how would I know how a guy was supposed to treat me, you know?
right.
So it makes sense on why I felt like I needed to work for somebody's love or why I was so tolerant of fuckboys and like people's bullshit. I just
Yep.
had a high tolerance for it because I didn't know any better. But yeah, that's why you have to get very clear on like what you are looking for. And do you
Mm-hmm.
want to be in a relationship like your parents and what you saw growing up, or do you want something better? Like maybe your parents had a very loving relationship. That's amazing. Then you'll probably attract that. But that's also how repetitive cycles happen of like horrible things like abuse. And then you see that growing up, and then you find yourself in an abusive relationship.
Right.
I understand how that happens is because those behaviors, you see that. And then if you don't work on yourself, know that you deserve better, you're going to end up in like similar patterns. So you're completely right, totally about like unlearning those behaviors that you were taught.
Yep. And like my final point too, a lot of people in my family have some addiction issues, and I definitely don't, but I have a very addictive personality, which I never correlated the two. Like I always just thought like this is the way I am. When I get into something, like I fully am into it. I fall in love so quickly and so easily, and like I would just put my whole being into a person. I've always found myself, like I said earlier in this episode, going for people who have like a lot of broken pieces in their life because like I just want to dive in and fix it. And finally like coming to terms with, wow, I think I probably am like that for a reason. And it just gives me comfort putting those puzzle pieces together. I just knowing why I was making the decisions that I'm making. There's something empowering about it because then when you know why, you can
Right.
also fix it.
Right.
That was just huge. Like I had this like huge epiphany. I was like, oh my gosh, yeah,
Yeah.
it has to come from within.
Right. And I just had a little aha moment. We were just talking about that, and they just keep getting brought up because you are so wise. But like, yeah, if my dad was like yelling at my mom and I would overhear all their arguments, my mom would later be like, ah, just in one ear and out the other. And so I think that's what I like subconsciously did. If a guy ever was just like treating me badly or just didn't really give a shit about me, kind of what I saw. So I was just like, ah, like in one ear, out the other. And just
Yeah.
not actually like acknowledging what was actually going on. Like I just ignored it.
Oh,
That's also
interesting.
like what I saw. Mm-hmm.
I know. See, like there's so many little things like that where unless you
Yes.
make the F up to yourself,
Right.
stop just going through the motions, you would never even
You would never
coordinate the
even
two.
realize it. You just be living on autopilot from all of those behaviors and beliefs that you picked up on in childhood.
Yep. So it's crazy how all
It,
of those epiphanies, it just feels so freeing to have
it
them.
does. When you have them, you're like, oh, fuck, yeah, I had another one. But
Yeah.
yeah, all those beliefs in childhood that you pick up on, whether you're aware of them or not, they're the driving factors for your entire life. So it's about becoming very clear on what those beliefs are and then deciding if you should unlearn some of those or if they're ones that you want to keep. But regardless, if you're living on autopilot and you're not even aware of those beliefs that you've carried from childhood, like they're controlling your life.
And they're also controlling how you treat those around you.
Yeah, and yourself.
hmm So So I think like if we could wrap it up into one thing, it would be turn your gaze inward, figure out what is causing you to make the decisions that you're making, and just really give yourself a lot of self-love, because life is hard. I mean, you're going to go through ups and downs, and the best thing is to just have a really awesome relationship with you before you add someone else into the mix, and you'll attract a lot better people when you yourself are feeling really whole.
Right. Yeah, because nobody in this life can make you happy. And I said that on the last episode, but it's so true. You're the only person, whether you like it or not, that can make you happy and fulfilled. And then just finding another person, like when somebody else comes into your life. Claire and I feel like we're both just at the point where when our current boyfriends did come into our life, we were just, oh, I don't need anything. Like I'm good on my own. Like I'm fully good on my own. And
Yes.
then when they did come in, it was just like an added, just like some icing on the cake.
Yes, perfect way to describe it. We hope you guys find that too. And you
be patient with it. Be patient with the process, and just keep working on you and loving yourself. And before you know it, you'll find that special someone.
And I do want to clarify too, because it is interesting. So I am in a monogamous straight relationship. So is Mani. Mm-hmm. And my sister is gay, and like her journey is completely different than mine. There's so many different types of relationships out there, but there's nothing different about, I feel like, what we all strive for, and that's to feel whole within ourselves first. So it doesn't matter what type of relationship you're in. It's just about finding happiness within yourself first.
Amen to that, sister.
Well, does that wrap it up, Mani?
That wraps it up. Oh, I look naked.
I just noticed that when you were like leaning forward. Mani's giving everyone a little show over here. Oh my god.
People feel like they're FaceTiming with us and that they're in on this combo, and that they have two besties that have their back with it and are there to support them, because it can be hard to do it all on your own.
Worse than feeling alone.
Yeah. And you're definitely not alone. Like, so many people go through the same exact stuff, but it's just people don't ever want to talk about it because it's just not the normal. Like, it's hard to be vulnerable, and it's scary because when you like open your heart and put yourself out there, you don't want to get hurt by it. But I just feel like the world needs more vulnerable people, and like more people that are real, because so much of everything is so superficial. I don't want to live like a superficial life.
No.
Like, I want to talk about things that matter. Yeah, make being vulnerable more normal.
Small talk just sucks.
I can't do it.
No.
I just can't. Like, it just seems so fake to me.
Ugh.
Yeah, I've never been like a small talk person. I'd rather just not even talk to you.
That's just why I love this too, because it just feels, one, so right. And I love how what you and I have, I think, surprises people, because genuinely I don't know if a lot of people have like a best friend that they can just confide in with all of this stuff. I feel like people naturally push others away when they're going through a hard time. Right.
Especially men.
So if we can just be your little, bring us in your room if you just need a little friend, like have us on in the background.
Right. Listen to our soothing voices.
Pack up a lung on this episode.
Clear.
But
you're right. Like, I don't know how many people have or even are vulnerable with their besties, you know?
Right. That's like what life's about. We all have a lot of similar struggles, but because nobody talks about it, like, you wouldn't even know.
Right. And everybody wants to be loved and feel like connected to somebody, but it's really quite impossible to do if you're not vulnerable.
Right. It would just feel superficial and shallow.
Right. Yeah.
I promise we have vulnerability hangovers too. We are.
After every Sunday when we post this, I'm like, Claire, I feel ill.
Black it out, Monica. We black it out.
Black out. Literally.
Family, they're so sweet. They had us up on the big screen. I literally felt like I was about to pass out and like, just get me in an ambulance, take me away. Like, I was like, one thing to just like chat And then it's another thing to like rewatch it again and analyze it. Then I'm like, I'm done. I'm out of here.
Yeah. Or like when you hear your voice, I'm like, do I really sound like that? Like,
Oh my gosh, I know.
yeah. It's uncomfortable for us to be vulnerable, but we just feel like it's our purpose and needed. So
We're doing it for
we're
you.
doing it. Vulnerability, hangovers, and all. Well, thank you guys so much for listening to part 2 of our relationship journey. And we really, really hope that you gained something from this because, yeah, we just want to be like so real with you guys and talk about more vulnerable stuff because, yeah, there's enough like superficial bullshit going on in the world. And we both know like life can be so hard and challenging, and we don't ever want to feel have anybody feel like they're alone in it because we all go through the same shit. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, just people don't talk about it. So like when people don't talk about it, then you think like, wow, this is only happening to me. But that's not true at all. And even just knowing that somebody else has gone through the same thing, at least for me, immediately gives me comfort and a sense of peace. So yeah, we just want you guys to like join in on our FaceTimes, and hopefully we can give you a sense of peace and comfort. But if you guys have any topics or anything that you want us to talk about, just leave them in the comments. We'll literally talk about anything. And yeah, if you like this, give us a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. Let us know what we can improve on. And if you want to stay tuned every Sunday, just hit that subscribe button and we'll pop up every Sunday. Yay!
Yeah, I think that'll wrap it up.
You guys have an amazing week per usual, and we'll see you next Sunday.
See you next Sunday.
Bye.
Bye.